As a student, I feel like I don't always have time to take notes. So what I do instead is I use an AI voice recorder, which transcribes all my lectures, meetings, and important conversations. And then I have everything on my phone. So yeah, in this video, I thought I would share more about my voice recorder from ANYPIN. So let's start with the unboxing. As you can see, the specific model I got is Note Pod P1. And overall, I think the packaging looks really good, really clean, minimalistic, but most importantly, I think the design of the product itself looks really good. It definitely has a very simple, professional, and classy look. As you can see, ANYPIN is about the same size as a lipstick. It is actually less than 1 centimeter thick, so it's definitely very compact and easy to fit in a bag or a pocket. And I really like the dark color because it doesn't draw too much attention. The simple design also makes it really easy and straightforward to use. On one side, you have the power button, and then on the other, you have the recording button. And then we have a 4 microphone recording system, which provides way better noise reduction and audio capture than traditional 2 microphone recording devices. It is actually IP64 dust and water resistant. Even though it's so small, it actually has 64 gigabytes of built-in storage. And then we have some accessories. This is what you use for charging, but I really like that it has a really good battery, providing up to 40% longer recording time than similar devices. So you can definitely use it for hours without worrying about the battery. It also comes with this clip that you put on your clothes. So I really like that you get multiple wearing options. I find the clip-on very convenient for everyday use. You simply clip it on to your clothes. It takes like 1 second. This makes the ANYPIN very visible, which I don't think is a problem simply because of the classy design. I think it blends very well into my outfit and honestly looks very professional. It weighs about the same as 2 pairs of AirPods, so it is super lightweight, which is obviously very important if you're gonna wear it all day. Because it's so lightweight, it also doesn't wear down my clothes, so I can use it even on sensitive shirts. But if you don't want to wear it like this, you also have a removable back plate that you can put inside your arm sleeve, for example. This is a really good option for tighter clothes, and I honestly forget the device is even there, so it's definitely very comfortable. And then you can just keep your arm in the position you normally would, or sometimes you might not want to wear any pin at all. So what you can do is just keep it on your laptop. I find that when I put it on the side of my MacBook like this, it kind of becomes stuck on the magnetic surface. Even if I'm moving around, it still stays in place. And then I can just keep it like this for when I'm watching lectures and taking notes in the meantime, or if I'm on a Zoom call and I don't want the device to be visible on me. It still picks up the noise from my MacBook. ANYPIN comes with an app where you can control the device and access recordings. When you first get the device, you just download the app and then connect. It takes literally a couple of seconds. It is a really easy setup, and the app itself is also really simple to use. It's definitely not a complicated app. First of all, in the top right corner, you can see the status of the device, if it's turned on or off. And of course, you can start a recording from the device itself by pressing this button. And then you can double check that the recording started on the app, or on the device, the light also turns white to indicate that it is currently in recording mode. Or if you're on your phone, you can easily start recording just by pressing the microphone in the top right corner. And same thing for stopping the recording. And then ANYPIN uploads the recordings automatically over high-speed Wi-Fi, which will make them available in the cloud up to 20 times faster than Bluetooth. But obviously, when it comes to personal recordings like this, privacy is really important. So I think it's great that all your recordings are encrypted on your device. You can set it up so that when you walk into a sensitive area or a more private area, for example, your home or like a private office, it can automatically pause the recording. So if you accidentally forgot to pause it, you don't have to worry because it actually automatically pauses. That is like a really big feature, I think, because you don't have to worry about any confidential conversations being accidentally recorded. You can also remotely start a recording. The current demo doesn't support this feature yet, but it is coming. So basically how it works is it integrates with your Apple Focus or calendars and maps. So depending on your location on your maps, you can either start or stop recording. And another feature I really like with the app is that it can automatically organize your audio for you. So So ANYPIN will actually segment your recordings based on your conversation topics, and it even takes context changes into consideration. You also have something called record and note mode, so you can actually take notes while ANYPIN is recording. And then you get a really clear summary report that is really useful if you're a student wanting to share your lecture notes. There are actually different summaries depending on your topic. For example, there's a meeting template that is really good for summarizing really any online meetings, which really takes the stress off of having to remember important information from your meeting. And anytime something important is being said, like a detail you want to remember, you can actually just press this button and flag it. By doing this, you will get an exact timestamp. You can go back to it later. This is what makes it so much better than the built-in transcription at Zoom, for example, in my opinion. And also this works for both in-person meetings, interviews, or coffee shop brainstorm sessions. I got a phone call at this cafe, and instead of having to hold off the phone call, I just pressed the record button in like a second on my ANYPIN device. It doesn't matter that the cafe was pretty loud, but ANYPIN still picks up your voice really clearly. And then you can also chat with AI inside of your recording. Like for example, you can ask questions about your recording, or if you don't remember a specific number, you can just ask for it instead of browsing through like the entire recording. So it is really like a life hack to taking smarter notes, especially I think for me for my long lectures when I don't want to miss any information and I want to be able to go back and search up very specific information in case I have any questions for my exam. Okay, so it is currently 9:49 p.m. I am honestly getting exhausted, but I need to watch this lecture before going to bed because I have a class tomorrow. So this is honestly my life hack for getting through online school. We're just gonna turn on ANYPIN and start recording. I'm gonna put this next to my MacBook. Instead of having to stay focused for 1.5 hours, I'm just gonna generate a transcript and then summarize it to just get an overview of what my lecture is about. Honestly, a life hack when you don't have enough energy to watch a whole lecture or just having a hard time staying focused. And now you might think if you have a lecture in French or another language, it might not work, but it actually does because ANYPIN supports 120 plus languages. So I find this really useful because sometimes I have lectures in my native language, but then I'm studying with international friends and I want to share my lecture notes in English. I can easily just translate into the other language. Sometimes it is really hard to be in a totally quiet environment when watching lectures. I find it so useful that even if I'm in a really loud environment, ANYPIN still delivers really clear, accurate transcriptions because it has built-in noise cancellation. It actually has a 98% accuracy for clean speech, which is really good. So it captures pretty much every single word accurately in my recordings. And when you're in a recording with multiple people, it separates your voice from the others, which makes multi-speaker conversations really easy to review and effortless to follow. Alright, so this sounds interesting. I'll put the link in the description. It's definitely important to mention this is a very new product, so some features are not yet available, but this is also really good because it means it's at a discount. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye!